Imagine standing at the edge of a vast, lifeless desert, where the earth is cracked and the wind carries only dust. What if the key to turning these endless stretches of sand green again wasn't a high-tech machine or a powerful chemical, but a small, furry animal? One you might never expect to play a starring role in environmental recovery. In the remote reaches of northern China, an unusual and daring experiment has quietly unfolded, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about restoring dying ecosystems and fighting back against the relentless spread of deserts. China's deserts, like the legendary Gobi and the vast Taklamakan, are expanding every year. These shifting sands are swallowing up precious farmland, threatening the livelihoods of millions and putting entire communities at risk. For decades, traditional solutions, like planting endless rows of trees or spraying chemicals to stabilize the soil, have been tried. But these methods are slow, expensive, and often fail to keep pace with the desert's advance. So, in a bold and unexpected move, scientists decided to take a risk. They turned to rabbits, creatures more often seen as pests than as partners in environmental restoration. Of course, the world remembers the disaster in Australia, where rabbits ran wild and caused ecological chaos. But China's approach was different, carefully planned, closely monitored, and highly targeted. Scientists introduced a specific breed of rabbit, chosen for its ability to survive in harsh conditions. These rabbits weren't set loose to multiply unchecked, but were managed as living tools. Tiny engineers, whose digging and foraging could help break up the soil, spread seeds, and jumpstart the land's recovery. The hope was simple yet ambitious, that these rabbits could succeed where decades of human effort had struggled, helping to transform barren sand into living, breathing ecosystems once again. It was a gamble, a leap of faith in the face of advancing sand dunes and growing desperation. But with the desert threatening to consume everything in its path, it was a risk worth taking. This is the remarkable story of how millions of rabbits, once seen as unlikely heroes, became the saviors in China's fight against desertification, proving that sometimes, the smallest creatures can make the biggest difference. To understand China's rabbit experiment, you need to grasp the scale of its desert crisis. The Gobi Desert is one of the world's largest and fastest growing, fueled by overgrazing, deforestation, and unsustainable farming. Local communities are losing their land and livelihoods as fertile ground turns to dust. Dust storms from the Gobi can blanket cities like Beijing and even reach North America. The government has spent billions on tree planting and barriers, but the desert keeps advancing. Food security and environmental health are at stake. Conventional methods aren't enough. The land needs a new catalyst. Enter the rabbit. Why risk introducing rabbits, notorious for ecological disasters elsewhere? The idea might sound reckless at first, especially considering the devastation rabbits caused in places like Australia, where they multiplied uncontrollably and wreaked havoc on native ecosystems. But in China's vast arid deserts, the situation was different, and so was the plan. China's scientists didn't just pick any rabbits, they carefully selected specific breeds known for their ability to dig and survive in harsh, dry conditions. These breeds had proven themselves resilient, able to thrive where other animals might struggle. Unlike past introductions, these rabbits weren't meant to run wild and multiply unchecked. Instead, they were to serve as temporary eco-engineers, closely monitored and managed by researchers. Their role was clear: to help transform the desert, not overrun it. The main problem facing these deserts was the soil itself, hard, compacted, and unable to absorb water. Without intervention, rain simply ran off, leaving the land barren and lifeless. Rabbits, with their natural instinct to dig, could break up this tough soil. Their constant burrowing would create channels for water to seep in, making it possible for seeds to take root and plants to grow. As Dr. Lu Xin put it, we see the rabbit as a biological plow, working for free, aerating the earth and mixing in organic matter. Their digging not only loosened the soil but also helped mix in nutrients from the surface. The burrows rabbits created would trap precious moisture, slowing evaporation and giving seeds a better chance to sprout. Their droppings, rich in nutrients, would act as a natural fertilizer, slowly improving the quality of the sand. Traditional methods, using heavy machinery or chemical treatments, had failed to break the desert's grip. The hope was that rabbits, with their tireless digging and natural behaviors, could kickstart a process of renewal that technology alone couldn't achieve. It was a radical shift in thinking, from viewing rabbits solely as pests, to seeing them as partners in ecological recovery. With careful planning and close supervision, the experiment was set in motion, an audacious attempt to turn a problem species into a solution for one of the world's toughest environments. The rabbit release was meticulously planned. Scientists selected barren, compacted land and built large fenced enclosures to contain the rabbits and monitor their impact. Specially bred rabbits were released by the thousands into these zones. The hope their digging would create a sponge-like network of tunnels to capture rainwater and enrich the soil with nutrients. Researchers tracked the rabbits' movements, mapped burrows, and measured soil changes. Would the rabbits survive and transform the land? Or would the experiment backfire? The world watched as China took a leap of faith, betting on nature's smallest engineers. The stakes were high, but the need for a breakthrough was even higher. The experiment began. In many test zones, the rabbits delivered. Their burrowing broke up the hard desert crust, making the soil porous and able to absorb rare rainfall. Rainwater now soaked in, feeding dormant seeds buried in the sand. Rabbit droppings added vital nutrients, and bits of organic matter dragged into burrows decomposed underground. Around burrow entrances, the first green shoots appeared, tough grasses and shrubs that stabilized the sand. These plants cooled the ground, reduced evaporation, and paved the way for more growth. The rabbits' activity set off a chain reaction: water retention, fertilization, and the return of plant life. The once barren landscape began to show signs of recovery. The transformation was slow, but unmistakable. The rabbits had become catalysts for change. Their relentless digging and fertilizing jump-started a fragile new ecosystem. The desert was fighting back. Success brought new risks. Rabbits breed quickly, and overpopulation could turn them from saviors to destroyers, stripping the land bare again. Fenced enclosures helped contain them, but escapes were always a concern. Scientists planned for natural predators, like eagles or foxes, to keep rabbit numbers in check once the ecosystem stabilized. Another challenge: rabbits favored certain grasses, risking a monoculture instead of a diverse ecosystem. Researchers had to monitor not just green cover, but plant variety. The world watched with cautious optimism. This was a bold experiment, but the risks were real. Adaptive management was key, constant monitoring and quick intervention if things went wrong. The project balanced on a knife's edge between ecological recovery and potential disaster. The lesson: even the best ideas need careful control. Years after the first seeds were sown, the results of this ambitious project are mixed, but undeniably promising. The transformation is subtle, yet unmistakable, a testament to both the challenges and the potential of ecological restoration in such a harsh environment. In many of the carefully managed enclosures, what was once endless yellow sand has gradually given way to vibrant green patches. These changes are so significant that they can now be seen from space, a striking contrast to the barren surroundings. Local herders, who were once deeply skeptical of the project, now walk through fields where grass is returning. For them, the sight of new growth brings not just hope for their livestock, but a renewed sense of possibility for their communities. However, not every experimental zone has succeeded. In some areas, rabbits introduced to help restore the land failed to thrive, leaving behind only empty burrows and dry sand. In other places, the rabbits multiplied rapidly, but this led to overgrazing, stripping the land of its fragile new vegetation and exposing the soil once again. The project's success has proven to be highly dependent on local conditions. Factors like soil composition, rainfall patterns, and even the specific breed of rabbit used all play a crucial role in determining outcomes. Where the balance was right, soil tests now reveal a remarkable increase in water retention and organic matter. These improvements are vital, as they lay the foundation for further plant growth and ecosystem recovery. Encouragingly, the return of insects and birds to these areas signals the first steps toward a more complete ecosystem. Drawn by the new vegetation, these creatures are essential for pollination and seed dispersal. Yet restoring full biodiversity is a slow and painstaking process. The landscape is only beginning to recover, and many native species have yet to return. The ecosystem remains fragile, with young plants still vulnerable to wind, drought, and grazing. Environmental workers continue to reinforce fencing and monitor progress, knowing that setbacks are always possible. The rabbits have played a key role in preparing the ground, but building a truly resilient plant community, one that can withstand the desert's extremes, will take decades of careful stewardship and patience. Still, the experiment has already changed both the landscape and the conversation about what's possible in desert restoration. Locals and scientists now work together, sharing knowledge and hope for the future. The desert is no longer just advancing. For the first time in generations, it's being pushed back. The green revival is underway, and with continued effort, it may one day transform the fate of these arid lands. China's rabbit experiment offers lessons for the world. It shows that working with nature, using living creatures as allies, can spark powerful change. The project was risky and unconventional, but careful planning and monitoring made it possible. It's not a universal fix. What works in one desert may not work in another. The key is biomimicry, using natural processes to guide restoration. The future of healing degraded lands may rely on similar eco-engineering ideas. The green patches in China's desert are symbols of hope and proof that recovery is possible. With ingenuity and humility, we can begin to reverse environmental damage. The journey isn't over, but the humble rabbit has shown a new path forward. Sometimes, the smallest creatures can make the biggest difference.